Hi, everybody. Welcome to the QB School. I am JT O'Sullivan. Today, Baker Mayfield, the Bucks. Instant classic game on the road. Big win, locked in, fired up. Let's get it going. Welcome to the QB School. Before we dive into the video, a quick reminder about the Quarterback School Patreon community. This group is the foundation, the bedrock of the channel. Not only is it a great, inexpensive way to support the channel, but you get even more Quarterback School content. Hop over there, join, become a member. I appreciate your support. As for this video, let's get into it. Baker Mayfield, the Bucks. Instant classic. This game was pretty awesome. Beyond the uniforms, right here, Baker going to his left, making a beautiful throw on this little sailor Seattle coming out the backside. Baker had a hell of a game. This was really a great football game to watch on both sides, and I really should do both sides of this thing. Watch the cut coming across. Cut, roll. Again, going to your left, big body right in front of you, take a shot. It's a beautiful job of moving the launch point, being aggressive. There were a number of really cool big field, down the field shots in this game. I love that idea of we're going to run this thing off, so condensed split. Here's that big boy post. Coming out, we're going to sell this thing like we're running across, almost like double post, and then come back out on this sailor Seattle. And really, we're just reading this corner. If this corner gets depth, it's going to create a big void for this sailor Seattle. You know, if you were to catch quarters here as opposed to closed, you know, you might alert this post. But once it's closed and that corner runs with the post, we got the sail. And again, it's not an easy throw, right? We're going to our left on the move. Can't set our feet. Now, he's certainly open, but we take a big shot, just a thing of beauty. And again, a bunch of huge explosive plays in this game. This was one of many. Also, watch that split flow slice action coming across here with the motion. Whoop. I mean, that is a perfect chop. Chop and roll. Whoop. Got him. Baker rolling. Next one here, third and medium. They're going to get up, try to go quick. We take an L on the right side of the offensive line. Baker uses his legs, makes somebody miss, get a first down. Thing of beauty. So again, always kind of crafty enough, not necessarily like a true duel where you're going to have a quarterback run game tethered to his athleticism, but he can certainly make people miss, create, extend. This is a nice job right here. Whoop. Knows where he is. Great football IQ. Got it. So he's probably trying to hit the quick out or flat up top. The flat defender gets outside of it, and really we don't have time for anything else. So the number 3 up top, going to the flat, it's a no. Now we got to go. And again, when we go, we're making good decisions, protecting the ball, get down, protect ourselves, thing of beauty. Now, pass pro wise here, this will almost always get a 5-0 check in the NFL. And again, that really just means big on big. Okay, so one right here, fan on both sides. And the thing to pay attention to here, and just kind of the overarching rule, and I'm not like a Seattle personnel person, so I assume this is a DB type. Looks like a little guy. He's got his hands, he's standing up. Anytime somebody has their hand on the ground, it's almost always a defensive lineman. Okay, you don't have to be a D-line school to realize this. Normally, with this action here, you'd want the guy who gets paid to block the pass rusher, blocking the pass rusher. And then you would want the back essentially scanning side to side. So he's going to go here. It looks like they get confused. The right tackle doesn't know who's who in the zoo. He thinks he's going to pass this off or let the defensive edge go to the back. The back kind of sees it at the last second and tries to take the edge off. So if I had to bet, I'd say the right tackle's in the wrong here. Baker makes him right. Just a beautiful job of leaning into your athleticism, run, go get the first, protect yourself. Next one here. This is a funky one. So first off, the formation is funky. It's condensed 3-by-1. Like double sniff, so kind of like a dirty bunch. We're going to throw a contested, we'll call it corner, Seattle, sail, whatever you want, that intermediate outbreaker in what is really just a iteration of flood to the boundary. Now, there are a number of things here that we're going to talk about, the foremost being that this is a poor decision. Okay, so when I say funky formation, I'm saying 3 eligibles here to the boundary, okay, to the short side. That's often referred to as FIB, formation into the boundary. We're going to run somebody deep. Okay, there's that deep flag or pylon. We're going to run somebody in that intermediate out, okay? And then we're going to have somebody in the flat. And that's just an iteration of flood. Now, on this concept, you've really got to see the corner. Okay, so if we get a half field player of a safety, this corner, is he coming down on the flat? Is he getting depth with the number one? Or is he probably, if it's two palms or read here, is he reading the release of the number two? So as the number two comes out of this thing, is this corner looking through the number two to the quarterback and he's going to come off on this thing? If that's the case, you cannot throw this ball. Cannot. This ball is a poor decision to be thrown. You got to see this corner. The thing to really pay attention to, and why it's in this video besides just a bad decision, is the backside in is there. So you would say probably 1, 1, 2, 3 over here, back to the backside in. The backside in is there. Guess what they come back to later in the game? You're welcome, right? Backside in. Thing of beauty. So let's watch the corner, the defensive corner down here to the bottom. And I misspoke. It's not the number 2, it's the number 3. So he's reading through it. Baker goes to make that throw right there. You can see that going. You just can't make that throw. That ball has to get down to the check down or has to get to the backside end. Again, easy for me to say with a clicker and a marker days later. But I love the fact that not only do I think this is a bad decision, but I see the backside in open and we come back to the backside in later. So just a nice job of coming back to it. The other thing, I usually get all over running backs about pass protection. This is a beautiful job of blunting pressure right in the face. And we get pulled here a little bit, flagged and pulled. But this is a great job from the back coming up. Bam! Thunders him. Maybe tackles him. Doesn't cut him. Allows us to step into it. Next one here, 3rd and short. We're going to start in loose bunch, 3x1, get to 2x2, condense down here to the bottom. We're going to throw it to the number 2 on a little flat. And we can't catch it for him. Okay, this is a throw, 1st down, 3rd and short. We got to catch it. Have to catch it. Okay, the thing that I'm going to talk about here, again, obviously first off, QB eval wise, 3rd down, Baker executing at a really high level. This is a well-thrown ball, ball's out on time to the first read, put it on him, can't catch it for him. Again, this is not wide receiver school or tight end school or eligible school or catching school, but all these things are tethered to quarterback play. And I will say, when you come out, and I don't care what route it is, okay, this is just to me just a little flat route. Looks like they're trying to run like what I would classify as an inversion smash. But as you're running here, and really you can put this anywhere, so pretend you're running whatever. If you're running full, first off, you're running full speed. There are 11 guys trying to hit you. As you run, if you've ever run full speed in your life, you maybe haven't for years, but I challenge you to go run full speed and feel how much your head is moving up and down as you run. Now, okay, this is not excuses, it's just reality. Now go put a helmet on with some bars in front of your face, okay, and run as fast as you can. Now, let's throw an object at you. Probably pretty hard. What, 40-ish, 50-ish miles an hour here? Maybe 45 miles an hour here? 40 miles an hour? Okay, hard. Thrown hard. What you don't want to do at all is take your eyes that are level, and they're already moving when you're running, which makes it difficult, but you don't want to jump at the last second unless you absolutely have to. Jumping and catching the ball makes a catch so much more difficult. This looks like it should be easy, and it probably should for an NFL pro guy. But the little jump there at the end, see him jump? You just don't have to do that. Just run through it. Now maybe switch your hands because it's not a go ball down the field. But that little jump to me makes it significantly more difficult. And again, I can say it till I'm blue in the face on YouTube. Nobody cares at all. But I am telling you, if you are around wide receivers, coach wide receivers, you are a wide receiver, you are a quarterback, don't let your guys jump unless they absolutely have to. It just makes things unnecessarily difficult. Just a little jump right there at the end. Can't catch it, can't hang on to it, knocked out of his hand, field goal. Next one here, this is a beautiful throw from Baker Mayfield. We're going to run a double move up top to the number 1. Off the counter pass, he rips this thing. This is a laser. This is very similar to a kind of cover 2 honey hole shot. It's probably more difficult because of the route that it's tethered to, and it's off play action. But this is a big time throw. And Baker has a bunch of big time throws in this film. He's really trying to put a 2-on-1 on this corner. So as the guy who comes across in motion is going to run technically up the seam, we're going to run a double move here. So as we're coming up the seam here, we're going to run a double move up top here. And that's going to create just enough of different levels to put a bind on this third corner, playing the thirds. So if he gets it all over here and the flat defender stays down at all, it's going to create this little window. Again, you've got to be on time with this thing. This is not something you throw a 7-iron out there or a wedge. You're ripping this thing. You can see the corner have to run with the seam. See the double move by the number 1 up top? Look when he lets this go. He's throwing it right here. He's already thrown it with his arm. You can see the separation here as you come into this space. The corner running with his hips to the number 2, and we rip that thing right into the hole. That's beautiful. That's a big time throw, y'all. Big time. Thing of beauty, off counter pass as well. It's not like, gun draw or gun shuffle like a traditional hole shot. That's turning your back, big play action, ripping it. Hell yes. Next one here. The result of this is a pretty easy 3rd and medium completion down here to the bottom slot. But the process here is what I want to pay attention to. Baker Mayfield in control. Line of scrimmage, pass pro. We end up getting what I would classify as a non-traditional Tampa simulated pressure. We're bringing 3, your boy 3 from the right. First off, just look at the line of scrimmage process here. He's got double mug. Okay, where are we going to? Who's who in the zoo? Okay, if you're a fan of the channel, we've talked about many teams. I want to say Mike McCarthy back in the day was the first one to do this in Green Bay, where they would walk up the back or tight end into one of these A gaps versus double mug look. And again, it was probably versus Zim back in the day. Okay, so what they're really trying to do here is get you to block these 6, right, with the pass pro unit. Right, you got the backup here. Well, what are they going to do? They're pretty smart on defense. They're going to bring someone who's not one of those, hoping that you can't fall into it. And then they're going to just bring 4 and play traditional Tampa behind it. Now, it's not traditional Tampa because they've got edge players trying to play the hook. And that's why this thing is so open. But I just love the process of Baker here. Totally under control. Okay, that's a funky look, double mug. What are we going to do? We have a plan versus double mug. We walk them up. It's almost like a punt protection. Okay. Then you can see here, as they get into the rotation, okay, so they're presenting closed, right? They're going to run out of here and play non-traditional Tampa with simulated pressure, right? This guy is blitzing. They're rushing 4. They're going to ask the traditional edge player here, right here. He's going to be the one that technically is the quote-unquote hook defender in Tampa 2. So we're going to run out. One of these middle linebackers is going to match to the number 3, right? Count outside in 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay, the 3 is to this side. So he should open this way. Okay, the hook defender's also going to be there, but we've got this huge void as the slot just runs up and turns around. So it's a lot of moving parts to get a pretty easy completion. I just love the command that Baker Mayfield has at the line of scrimmage. Whoop. Again, you can see it sort itself out down here, right? 7's in a bind. He's dropping to a landmark on the hash. He's not playing the receiver or the down and distance, and that's an easy first down. Next one here, big play action, 1st and 10 pass. We're going to hit the guy in motion on what I'm going to call like a Tyreek Hill motion in. Now, again, we're able to hit this because of unbelievable pass protection. This has got some waspy vibes to it, as well as what they're doing with the 1 and the 2 to the left. But look at this play action. We got all day to throw this thing. Great job. No one around us, like routes on air, wide open in the middle of the field. How does it happen? So it happens because teams are getting so good at using motion. So again, look how far he has to run. He starts up here. He's going to run all the way across. He's going to get collision by the corner, which normally would kill any sort of in. As soon as you have to go around this, normally the quarterback would be off that. But because the pass pro is so good, we can hang with it. Okay, you combine that with what I'm going to call that deep corner or flag or pylon, okay, with that post It ends up being almost like double curl, like double clears. And it's just a huge void. But the reason you're able to stretch the defense like this and create the huge voids is not only how you're using the motion, but the pass protection. Great pass protection versus zone defense. Stretch it. Again, you can see the motion down here to the bottom. He gets full-on collision. Bam. Should be over. Instead, 3, the hook defender is lost. He comes up on the play fake. He doesn't get any sort of depth. He comes up on the check down, and it creates a huge void in the middle of the field. So just a thing of beauty. So it's all of the things, right? It's offensive architecture, design, play calling, when we call it, how we get there, the pass protection, the aggressive shots down the field, and Baker doing it, letting it rip, hanging with it, trusting it. Big play, 1st and 10 inside the red zone. Next one here, y'all, this is an absolute dot of a touchdown pass. Okay, this is a bracket beater. In my opinion, we're going to hit the number 1 up top on a post. This is a big boy throw. It's great conviction as well. It's great capacity to identify the coverage, let it rip, find the one-on-one, beat the one-on-one. Okay, first thing here is as we shift the back in, we'll be able to see the communication on what's going on from the wide. But we're going to basically have our eyes on that near safety to the right. We know the coverage is probably bracket. And what that means is when you're in a 3-by-1, there are really only a handful of ways to play brackets. Okay, so I'll talk about like the 2 most common. So what I want you to do here is as the back shifts in, and so we bring the back in. So the first thing is you go to school on what they do. Okay, they had a corner out here and a backer. So it's either zone or bracket. Okay, when they move over here and you see you're playing a team that plays split flow or split safety defense, these guys are going to almost always communicate with the defenders on their sideline, on their side of the field. And when you're in a 3-by-1 and you think you're playing a bracket team, you're really only going to get a handful of coverages. Okay, now, usually handful of coverages. The most often is called stump or stubby. Who knows if that's how they spell it. Okay, all this means, they're really the same. It just refers to the corner. So if the corner's pressed, that's stubby, and he's got him Meg. Okay, that's man everywhere he goes. If he's off, it's not the exact same coverage. They've got little different calls depending on if you run something at him, but it's essentially still man on the number 1. So you're going to get, think of it like this, man here, and then these 2 are getting essentially coned. So they've got these 2 defenders here with the safety over the top. So when we come up here and run a post inside release and run this post here, it looks like this safety should be there to take it away, but really he's bracketing the 2 and the 3. So it's just a beautiful bracket beater. And again, you can see them usually communicate. And once you see the corner go up and press, you know you've got them. And it's even better if you know the signals. I'm not saying I do, but if I was playing them, I'd try to learn them. And again, you can see the nickel or the star 3 here. He's going to come off on the number 3. See the number 3 go to the flat? He's coming off that. Those 3 are playing those 2. And then it's Meg, bump Meg up top. Got him. So if you're playing quarterback here, you're just looking at this safety. As soon as he's not getting any depth, not playing true quarters, got him. It's a wrap. And that's a dot. It's a dot of a throw. You also have the arm talent to rip that thing and throw essentially a deep post within 30 yards, right? Because you're going to run out of real estate, high back 5 that thing. Just a beautiful thing here. We're watching pink mouthpiece on the top right. Got him. Dot. Laser. Next one here for the 2-point. The guy coming across on the shift here, he's going to run an unbelievable route. This is really a fake F-post corner. It does him dirty. This is outstanding design. I'm sure other teams run this in the red zone. I've never seen it off this before, but I love it. This is supposed to look to the left here to the defense like a old, pretty famous digit play, 095 F-post. And it's a lot of teams run it. You see it run all the time on 3rd down. I'll show you what it's supposed to look like, the true play, and then what the double move off of it is. So the true play, and I think I have a video on it, you run this kind of gather shallow, and then you're going to run this post right off of it. And so there's lots of different coverages that it's great against. What they end up doing here is they end up running that same look to presentation to the defense, but then as he comes out, you're going to see him just nod it and then run to the corner. And it's just a thing of beauty. I mean, it does him dirty. It gets the safety. The corner is nervous of the back getting in the flat, and they've got no chance. Just got him. This is such a good route. Again, nice ball, world-class design, excellent execution. Get us a little easy too. And I love also that they move the ball to the left hash, so you're thinking, oh, they're probably going to work it to the right, to the wide side. Great route. Nice pass pro again. Thing of beauty. Halftime, you dig the channel and you haven't already, please like, subscribe, hit the bell, get the notifications. I really do appreciate you subscribing to the channel. It means a lot to me, so thank you for taking the time and doing it. Again, the Quarterback School Patreon community, you know about it. Join, become a member, get even more Quarterback School content. We also have Quarterback School courses. You can check out all the courses over at theqbschool.com. I go into a little bit of the bracket issues in this video, so if you're interested in more coverage cues like that, you will love some of the courses. Hop over there and enroll. Finally, please make sure to follow me across all the social media platforms. I appreciate your support. As for this video, let's get back to the second half. Next one here, another big play action shot. We're going to hit the number 1 up top on just a deep curl. And we've got that long Tyreek Hill motion clear going with us. And we just don't get enough depth at the second level of this defense. So again, these big play actions, protect yourself, max protected, take a shot down the field, let Baker rip this thing down the field. And again, you know, a better ball, a better connection is probably even a better play, but pay attention to the motion. So we've got this long motion, and this essentially turns into a clear. So that's going to take the top off the defense. That's going to take the third level of the defense off. Then we're going to run this one I'm going to call just this deep curl here. And again, there's nothing underneath it here. So as you're the second level of the defense, these guys are just not getting enough depth, not feeling the route distribution here. And there's just too much space for Baker to basically throw him through a lane for a big chunk. Again, easier said than done, but there's no underneath routes kind of pulling us in, right? We keep both tight ends in. The back doesn't get out. That's just two guys running down the field. Again, I just love the idea of the big play action chunks, whether they're running static routes at the top or big double moves. They obviously were super intentional with making sure they felt secure in the pass pro and then leaning into Baker ripping it down the field. Next one here, this is a thing of beauty from Baker Mayfield. My goodness, 60-plus yard bomb, double move down here to the bottom where Baker literally, okay, earmuffs me here, eye fucks the poach safety so bad. You can see Baker here with his eyes looking to the right, feeling this thing. That's going to move the safety, 39 on the top left. Watch the helmet stripe. Look to the right. Got him. Come back and rip that thing like a damn javelin. Everything except the final touchdown right there. It's a thing of beauty. So to me here, this is what I would classify as a poach beater. And what I mean by that is in 3x1. So 3 eligibles, 1 down here. And really you could call that 4x1 if you wanted to with where the back line's up. But what does this safety do? Is a common read. So if he's poaching or trying to play the vertical of number 3 or trying to get involved in these guys over here, it creates a huge one-on-one opportunity down here to the bottom. And it's even better if you can get outside leverage right here, come up, give us a little nod, double move, and take that thing deep down the field one-on-one. But again, I think it's, you know, tethered to the fact that Baker can throw it this far and get this safety involved with his eyes. Watch that safety move. Got him. This is 3rd and long, y'all. 3rd and long. And we are getting this kind of one-on-one shot down the field with that kind of space, leverage. That is a beautiful. That is a massive, massive bomb. And that is outstanding quarterback play here to manipulate that safety. Make sure you're on the same page. Sure looks like he almost gives a little signal over there too. Look right. Boom. Boom. My goodness. Holy moly. Next one here is the same play we talked about earlier, that 3x1 FIB. We're going to get that flood down here to the bottom with the 3 running that Seattle or sail The corner, watch the corner at the bottom. He's going to come off again. This time we get to the backside in though, and it's wide open. So I love the fact that we came back to it. I love that we're learning in real time. We're getting better in real time. We saw it was there on the backside in. They probably saw from the booth or the images, hey, we can come back and call this up again. This time see the corner. Little play action fake, block them up. Great job again from the back with the pass pro. That's wide open on the logo. My goodness. I mean, it is the same play with almost the exact same coverage on the front side. I would classify this as, again, this corner reading this thing, okay? As he sees the number 3 come out and run this thing, he's then going to come off of this thing, stop his feet, and at that point, we are back to the backside end. Boom, just like that. It's just a beautiful job. And again, I think it's actually better this time because it was read wrong the first time. So in the same game, we come back to the same play, same coverage, and he's already, look how quick Baker's to the backside end. I mean, he is to the backside end before he even hits his back foot. Thing of beauty. Big chunk, let's go. Next one here, one of the few pass pro snafus I would say in this game. First off, I think the right tackle just takes an L. Can't get beat inside like this. But I would also say in most pass pros, the back would probably be full scanning all the way to 23 here so that we don't even have a hot issue. Now, again, I'm not saying that I know Tampa Bay's pass pro calls or rules, but I would say in most 6-person pass protections, so we got the back, the 5 offensive linemen. If the offensive line, let's say, is going here to the middle, the back would go 1 to 2. Okay? Even if the offensive line was going these 4 to here, the back would go 1 to 2. Okay? Very rarely, and I mean unless you're in like 1997 drop back solid pass pro, would you ever have 6-person pass pro and have this guy run free and this guy run a check down out the other way? Okay, that's just dated stuff. So if that's what they're doing, it stinks. It doesn't stink worse than the right tackle taking an L and losing inside. You absolutely cannot lose inside like this. And again, if you're the right tackle, and this is not tackle school by any means, and there's really no indication that this guy's blitzing, right? You see 23 here is the guy who blitzes. If you're the tackle, I'm always a fan of having my eyes up. You see eyes up here, eyes down here, okay? As opposed to having my eyes down, having my eyes up. I don't care if they know who are blocking. I'm ineligible. I'm blocking somebody. If you feel or see pressure off the edge, very rarely are they both going to go to the C gap here, right? You're almost always going to get this move into the B gap. And so just having a deeper understanding of what they're doing when you get that pressure look, not that he sees it pre-snap here, but that move is going to happen all the time. He goes for the 2-hand punch and just gets, yoop, see ya. Now, the other part, and probably being too critical here, is could Baker, if Baker is hot off 23, could he just raise up and throw it to the hot right here? Maybe. I think he's already probably taken off because he feels the color of 7 win, and that's a bummer sack. Next one here, this is a beautiful job of ripping the wrap into the bottom of the screen. We're going to run the wrap in from the bottom, a little switch release. Again, the wrap in is almost always run away from the strength. So I think of it as a weak side concept. And the reason it's a weak side concept is because the middle linebacker, 13 here, is going to almost always match to the back, to the third eligible side. So when he opens to the right, we've got the wrap in back the other way. And I mean, that's as open as it gets. All right, that's mini camp open. That's routes on air open. So again, as we get here, they do a cool little job with the quote unquote switch release down here to the bottom, because normally you'd run the wrap in out here and the pivot in here. They're doing it switch release in here, get into this area, and then the pivot gathers right there. Well, what I'm saying here is the third eligible is right here. That's going to then make the middle linebacker, 1, 2, 3, the middle of the 3 linebackers almost always match that way. And that's just going to create so much space for this wrap in. It's a thing of beauty. And again, this is not, necessarily innovative football to throw wrap ins away from the mic, but it's pretty sweet to get it this open. Yes, please. Big chunk, way too easy. Next one here. Now we get into Baker time. Okay, this is going to end up being 11 lurk defensively. So the safety up top on the weak side, he's going to be coming down as the whole middle field player. You're going to get middle field closed man. The number 3 down here to the bottom is essentially dropped because the 2 and the 3 defender think that they're banjoing this thing. Baker does a great job of seeing it, and it turns into basically punt return right. It wide open. So that's a lot of me talking to say 13 here is going to move out and try to cover the number 3 to the left. The safety on the right's coming down as the lurker. 13 and the star on off the screen are thinking that they're banjoing. So 13 leaves him. He now thinks he's covering the number 2. You can see the number 2 running in here on the wrap in. Well, that's 2 guys running with him. Nobody is on the number 3 in the flat. Baker has enough capacity to escape, find him, and it turns into another big chunk. So what I want you to do here is really pay attention to the defenders on the 2 and the 3 down here to the bottom. So my guy 3 ball again, 13 and 3. So again, coverage-wise here, we're going to get what I'm calling lurk or 11 lurk, middle field closed. These 2 defenders, okay, how are they going to handle these 2 eligibles? Are they going to lock this, meaning, hey, we're locked no matter what, it's one-on-one? Are we going to do what I think most times you would want to do is banjo this, essentially meaning he's got the first outside, he's got the first inside. Whatever they do, it's wrong here because the miscommunication and number 3 is dropped. So they end up double teaming the number 2 on the little in, the number 3 is dropped, and it's a wrap. And Baker does a great job buying enough time, using his vision, seeing it, and that's just too easy. You know, for this defense to be the defense that the reputation that it has at home, there was a lot of space. And again, the space was compounded because of the pass protection excellence in the zone coverage, and then Baker's ability to extend, create, use his vision. Again, he's not looking to run it all the time. It's go, make a good decision. There he is, dropped. Big chunk explosive play. Last one here, touchdown pass up top. Again, another example of Baker time. There's nothing there in phase, in structure. This is Baker extending to his left. Wide receiver doing a nice job not getting pushed out of bounds, staying in bounds, and Baker just finding him. I mean, there really is nothing there. This is one of those things where the quarterback is making the play caller right because he goes to throw this and there's nothing there anywhere. He's able to extend and make them right. Just a thing of beauty. I want you to watch the coverage up top. So that's just a fade by the number 1. And that you know, maybe you could throw the fade, but there's not a whole lot of room. Looks like he's looking at the slot. Says no, right? You see that rat or thief in the middle. It's going to be a tough throw right there. There's nothing there. So he goes backside, nothing. Now he's got to go. Okay. What's happening here barely off the screen is we're probably trying to push this eligible out of bounds. Once he goes out of bounds, he can't be the first person to touch it. He knows that too. So he slips him back inside right on the shield. Baker's able to buy enough time here going to his left, made a number of really nice throws going to his left. This is just a big time extension, being on the same page, make a play, outstanding football play on the road in a ridiculously rough environment to play, loud as hell, communicate, create, extend, arm talent, big time. So that is a wrap. Baker Mayfield, the Bucks, big win. This was a hell of a game. It really was. I feel a little like I'm cheating y'all by not doing the other side of this game as well because Sam Darnold played a hell of a game as well. Maybe we'll get to it at some point over the course of the week. Regardless, Baker Mayfield playing at an extremely high level. Love what this offense is doing, but Baker's arm talent, his vision, his ability to extend, create, make, for the vast majority of the game, outstanding decisions with the ball. But there's just a lot to like. You got to appreciate how they're able to construct what they're doing on the perimeter, dealing with some injuries, dealing with some big dogs not being out there, to be able to come out there and let it rip like Baker Mayfield and company are doing, because the pass pro for the most part is outstanding. The play action shots, they're able to run it when they need to run it and ice that thing at the end. There's a lot to like about this offense, this unit. Thank you so much for hanging to the end of this video. I will see you next time. Have a good one. Last one here, a little bonus run game. Love me some counter. Little gap down, play side, great job by the back, staying in bounds as well. This is a perfect example of make corners tackle. You can see the corner On the left edge of the screen, 28's got the wide receiver one-on-one. The wide receiver comes in, blocks MDM, the safety, most dangerous man. Make the corner tackle. Corners don't like to tackle. Corners don't tackle. We slide, we kick, we win. So run game-wise, this is just counter down here to the bottom. Now, a few things here, defensively, and this is not run fit school, but I will say my guy 48 is about as soft as it gets here at the point of attack. For some reason, he's crazy wide as well. So this play being, if we're running counter to the right or to offensive right or left, these rules are almost all gap down backer rules. So what that means is we're going to go, if there's someone in your gap, you're going to block down. We got block down. Okay? Block down. We got to go all the way back to here where there's really nobody, where technically this probably could be an ace to whoever shows up here. We are then going to kick out. So this becomes a kick out block. That's the big boy kick out block. And the reason that it's so easy here is because 48 is ridiculously wide for some reason. So because he's so wide here, this kick out looks like it's like a walk in the park, like a walkthrough rep. So you get all these down blocks, down, 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 and then we get the kick. It's a decent scrape here from the backer over the top, but it's a nice tight wrap right off that double team. And then again, because he comes in here and blocks this guy, the corner's got to come off of it and can't make the tackle. But I want you to pay, the other thing to pay attention to is when you have a linebacker who can handle an NFL edge or D lineman, that allows you to run these CD gap runs. That's a big boy block by that tight end coming down. And again, look how wide 48 is here. This is a gift. You can't run in the C gap fast enough when something like that happens. Ice it. Thing of beauty, nice awareness as well. Get down, game winner.